Hey guys, this is HOPEsaidit, back with another HOPEsaidit Uncut video for you. And if you read this week's blog, you know that I'm talking about Love is Blind. That is a show on Netflix. It's very popular right now. I'm kind of late to the game, but I didn't have time to watch TV. But with spring break, with the coronavirus, a lot of people are shut in, and I was able to actually catch up on the show. So I wanted to run that down for you now. For me, it was kind of slow going. So I was like, I don't really know about this, but it got better. So there absolutely will be spoiler alerts. I'm assuming A, that you're wanting to watch and connect on this level, or B, that you don't want to watch, but you just want to know what it's about. So yes, spoiler alert, and I'm breaking it down couple by couple. Let me start with the basis of the show. You have guys and girls, and they're trying to find true love. They have, I don't know, was it 30 days? Or something, a couple with 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something to get married, right? But you can only see the person or talk to the person you're dating through pods, like a waiting room kind of sort of. That's all, you know, with couches and everything like that. And you don't see the person you're talking to. There's like an opaque, you know, glass or something like that that you don't see anything through. And you're talking to someone on the other side of that glass. And that's the only communication you have with them. You can't see them, you just hear their voice, hear their personality, and go from there. It's almost like you get the noise out of the way. So as you're dating someone, usually it's, I have to go to work, I have to do this. No, you're no device, no distraction, no phone, nothing. It's just you and this person, and you know, you rotate around persons and you just talk. The only way you can see the partner is if, sounds crazy, but if one of the people propose. So like if we're vibing after day 6 or something, and they're like, no, Hope is really cool. You have to propose. Like, Hope, will you marry me? Yes. And it's a whole thing to see each other. And then it goes from there. They went on a honeymoon to Mexico, I believe. And then you come back, you have to live together, which I wouldn't do. Shacking up. At the end, they have to go to a wedding, walk down the aisle, and say, I do or I don't. As I said on the blog post, my relationship scale stands. And even though love is blind for some people, it's really not. Because you see that right when they see each other, that physical starts taking over, right? Ooh, is he on my level, above, below, what's going on? And then that emotional connection that you had starts dwindling because you see the person. And that's really why most of the relationships didn't work. One person was like, oh, okay. You'll know what I mean later, but just know that my relationship scale is still true, okay? So we'll start with the first couple, the most boring one, but not saying they're like boring as in boo, change the channel. It was just more, it was less drama. Let me not say boring, it was less drama. Lauren and Cameron, like from the first time that you saw them, they had a connection. He has some flavor in him. And he has been with another black female dating wise, and Lauren has not. So this was like the interracial relationship. It was kind of annoying because like every time the host would come, Nick Lachey and his wife, Vanessa Lachey? What's his wife's name, y'all? I don't know. But either way, Nick Lachey and his wife, mind you, it was also annoying that Nick, every time he would introduce himself, he's like, oh, this is Vanessa, and I'm obviously Nick Lachey. Like, I'm sorry, obviously. You weren't hot since... And even then, it was NSYNC and Backstreet. Okay, but obviously, okay. But also when they were talking and they were, you know, they're the host, so you have to segue everything in and let the audience know what's happening. They'd be like, you'll find out whether love is blind, regardless of race. And they'd like, shoot to Lauren. That was the only interracial relationship. So it was obvious that every time they said race, it was like, we get it. You're talking about my girl, Lauren. She was cool. She wanted to find love. Cameron was cool. He was not afraid to commit. And at the end, they both got married. I mean, yes, it kind of got not even heated. When they met Lauren's mom, she was cool and acted just like Lauren. Very cute. their relationship. And then when they met the dad was cool. He was tough, but who wouldn't be? You know, it wasn't tough. There was no cracking him. It was just tough, like, hey, I'll give you a chance, I guess, but don't think you're getting 100% of my trust, which is what most dads would do. So that was your cutesy couple. That's the fan favorite. So that's why I went through them first, because there's no drama on that one. They're still married to this day. Congratulations to you, Lauren and Cameron. Okay, let me get to Kelly and Kenny. Kelly and Kenny. People thought they'd make it to the end. No, like Kelly's just, they saw each other. I was like, oh, this is perfect. They chose each other. They saw each other. They're still good. Literally everything seemed great until, my goodness, was it when Kelly was getting married or something? She was either at the bachelorette party or about to get married that day. And she was talking about, I don't know, we're like friends. That's like best friend. But, you know, the physical isn't there. And I was like, hold the sauce. What are you talking about? Y'all were cool for weeks and now you're just bringing this to light. Mind you, they're very equally yoked, so calm down. But she did say that, oh, she usually goes with like dark hair, which is so weird. It's like, okay, he can dye his hair. I don't know. He was tall enough, so I just don't know what happened there. But Kenny was all in. And he said yes at the end for the wedding, and Kelly's the one thing no, which was so odd because even the families got together and liked each other. It was just very weird. Kelly threw me a curveball because I just didn't know that she wouldn't pick Kenny, because they were like your typical vanilla, oh, you're going to make it to the end. And then Kelly at the end of the day just said no. And then what's crazy is that even when he was stood up at the altar, Kenny actually gave a speech to everybody and said, hey guys, obviously this is not what we wanted, but you know, he was just a stand-up guy. So that's why I'm glad that at the reunion, Kenny has a girlfriend and Kelly's just, I'm so happy for you, and single. So, I mean, I'm not saying they should have been together, but I'm glad that in the end, Kenny did find the girl that he needed. And Kelly, think about your actions, because you might have lost a good one. I don't know. Next on the drama level, I'll talk about Damien and Giannini. I'll just call her Gigi because, you know, I'm saying Giannini too much. I could say something else. It's Gigi. So Damien and Gigi. Gigi is from Venezuela, I believe she said. And then Damien's, you know, Caucasian male. They were cool, met in the pods, but I knew something was up with Gigi when Damien proposed to her in the pod to be able to see her. And then she was like, no. First of all, she has a raspy voice that could kind of get nasty. It's kind of like, girl, get that frog out your throat. But she was like, no, we are equals. So Damien, will you marry me? And I was like, oh dear. Damien, that was your foreshadowing that everything that would happen in your relationship. Because even afterwards, she was just so extra. It's almost like Damien's chill and he's riding it through and he's like, this is cool. And then Gigi is like, no, this is a telenovela. So I'm just going to get mad at you breathing. And it got to a point that when they came back to the apartments, because after the honeymoon, you go back to your hometown and live with each other. Everybody's from Atlanta, by the way. But they lived together and Gigi just like, I just don't have butterflies anymore. I'm like, oh Lord. And they're talking, she's like in the kitchen, he's in the room. It's just weird. It's very telenovela. And I'm like, I get you. Like, and do you want to know why I don't blah, blah, blah? I'm like, no, we don't. We want you to be quiet and sit down and act like a grown woman. Okay? Like, come on now. You want love or not? At the end of their relationship, though, he said no. And it was so weird because it's almost like he was dragging her along this whole time. And then at the end, he said no. But it was for good reason, though. Yes, she'd say, oh, the butterflies are gone and I'm not in it and I don't know about this. And then one day she'd be like, you're my everything, you know? So he said it was a hard decision, but at the altar, he ultimately said no. Now, this is after she done poured her heart out saying, of course I'll marry you. And he was just like, I don't. So she ran away like a telenovela. She nearly tripped, by the way, while she was running. And then her mom, it was so funny. Her mom came to comfort her and she was basically like, no, it's not right. This is all in Spanish. But she was like, it's not right. You should have been the one that said no and all this other stuff. Her mom was so dramatic, crying more than her, but that's what a mom would do, right? They're still together though. At the reunion, they're dating. So they're one of the couples that, yes, we like each other. We just need to take it slow though. We can't rush into marriage. We just need to date and they're still together, at least, you know, to this day. Okay, so next on the drama level is really the couple that never was. That is Carlton and Diamond, okay? They're the African-American couple and they didn't work out. Okay, it was cool in the pods. Carlton ended up proposing to Diamond, but then, and this is messy, y'all. You're supposed to reveal it all, right? Carlton refused, just left out the fact that he used to date men also in the past. He called himself fluid, and he just falls in love with hearts no matter who it is. Okay, but you need to reveal this to your partner. Maybe she don't want that. Okay, so this whole time she's left out in the dark about it, and he's just in the back of his mind, when should I tell her, when should I tell her? And so finally, when they have their honeymoon in Mexico, he tells her, you know, she's a little taken aback, and then she said, okay, well, let me process this. And it was decent when they left, right? The next morning when she processed it and kind of wanted to tell him, he was acting all kinds of crazy. Like, it was just weird. Once he got to Mexico, even before he revealed the news, he was acting like his walls were back up. And in the pod, he was all crying, and I never knew a love like this before, and this is the best day of my life. And then he comes out and he's acting like Rico Suave, like, yeah, this and that, and this is gonna happen. It's annoying when you have people who act so cocky, but it's like you're so broken inside. That cockiness is such a facade. And that exactly was Carlton. Because I think he just wanted to have this facade when inside he was just wanting to be loved. He was just like, I just want someone to like me for me. And it's sad that it kind of came out that way, because when it all came to a head, because Diamond was like, okay, I processed and now we can talk about it, Carlton Spinderella, that's his new name, Carlton Spinderella, he flipped it real quick. You're judgmental. And mind you, Diamond didn't even say, no, we have to break up. She was just saying, yes, it is kind of, it's kind of shocking. I have to process this. And, you know, I still love you. And I think he wanted to cut her off before he even heard a but. So he was like, man, you know what? This is what I thought about you. And that's why I don't even mess with girls like you. Called her a B word. I mean, I was like, what just happened here? And it was obvious that he was just feeling too out there. So he had to put a wall up and start throwing stones, child. And that's exactly what he started doing. It was just very weird, that whole interaction. Called her out her name. But like, while Diamond was walking away, Carlton then screams out to her like, fix your wig, because it's been shifting and sliding down ever since we've been dating, or something like that. And I was like, it was an obvious lace front. I mean, the line was like right there. You can notice it. But Diamond's still cool. And I was still, at the end of the day, that's, I think, how most people would feel. You kept it from me, and then you're going to get mad at me for having to process after the fact. There's a reason you kept it from me, because you knew it wouldn't be a good reaction. So why would you do that and have a relationship that's not 100% out there and 100% honest and open about who we are? So that was Carlton and Diamond. They ended up in the reunion. Carlton did apologize, got on one knee and did not propose, but just said, hey, here's a friendship ring, because the ring that she originally was wearing, he threw it in the pool because he was being a diva. But he has now self-reflected, and he's working on at least being friends with Diamond. I think Diamond is 100% done with Carlton, because after you show your butt like that, there's no telling when it's going to show again. So that was rough. That was rough to see. Okay, and now there's the last two couples. I'll start with Amber and Barnett. And really, on drama level, they should be at the beginning. It wasn't really a lot of drama with Amber and Barnett. It's the interaction with the other couple. That's why I have to keep them together so y'all don't get confused. So, Amber and Barnett. Barnett is like your typical, who did all the girls like in school kind of guy, you know? So he was just that guy. He had 3 women wanting him at the pod, phase. So he had to choose, and he eventually chose Amber out of everybody. And they met each other. I mean, they clicked automatically. She's pretty, and he's handsome, and it worked out for them. So that was good. Now, homegirl is a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She got debt. Listen. If you got $20,000 in student loans and you don't have a diploma to show for it, girl, stop it. That's love. She has credit card debt. She wants to be a stay-at-home wife. She works to, what'd she say? She works to live, not lives to work. That's just broke people speak for I don't like working. So basically, she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and get a man who takes care of her. This is not a slam on stay-at-home moms. I feel like if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, there could be some people watching like, I'm the same way. No, if you are aspiring to be a stay-at-home mom, you will have your ducks in a row, and you know how to, manage the household. That's what your domain is, the household. So whether it's cleaning it or cooking in it or operating the finances in it, knowing how to be thrifty, knowing how to, like there are roles that go with that. And she was not that. She was not that. Okay. So it just came off as lazy because it just seemed like you just want to have fun and have a man take care of you, no? They kind of bumped heads because they're kind of very fiery. I think both of them kind of goofy and off a little bit, but it worked because they're both like that. So it was cool. Who cares about them, right? Let me talk about the next couple. Mark and Jessica. That is, oh, this is what I probably will spend the most time on. Mark and Jessica, okay? So here's the situation. Mark is this, self-proclaimed mama's boy from Chicago. He likes the Bears and the Cubs or something like that, whatever. He's just a cool dude, okay? Right from the back, he liked Jessica. Just talking to her, they connected, and Jessica was his pick. Jessica was that girl. But guess who Jessica was also talking to? She connected with Mark in the pods, but she also liked, pretty boy Barnett, okay? And Barnett chose Amber, but there was a time where Barnett was thinking, I think I like Jessica. So that's really where the drama came in, because Jessica basically dumped Mark and said, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Once Barnett came to her in the pods and said, what's going on with you and Mark? And she said, what do you want me to do? I can leave him. Girl, she left Mark to get with Barnett. Next day, Barnett, and her are talking, and she was like, is it true that you want to propose to me? Barnett's like, I don't know. He changed real quick. It was so weird that he was like, yes, Jessica and me are having a great connection. And then the next day I was like, I don't know. So now Jessica's scared because she's like, oh crap, I left Mark for Barnett. Barnett just dumped me. Can I go back to Mark? And she did. And child, right when she entered that room with Mark, hey babe. I'm like, oh, now you babe. Girl, when I tell you the thirst came out, it's so sad. It's so sad. So Mark is sloppy seconds, and he's just being the most gentleman guy. He was like, things are testing our love. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, ain't nobody testing that love, okay? She ran and came back because she got dumped. So Mark and Jessica end up getting together, and she says yes to Mark. Mark proposed to Jessica. Jessica says yes, right? But when she sees Mark, she's kind of, mind you, there's nothing wrong with Mark. Mark is above Jessica in most of the viewers' eyes, okay? Jessica apparently thinks I feel she felt Mark was not her type, was beneath her. Oh, he ain't tall enough. Oh, he has dark hair. I usually go with, I don't know what. And she was like, he's smaller than I usually like. Now, Mark is a personal trainer. He has muscles. I don't know if she expected just someone tall. And he took your little sorry self back after getting dumped invisibly. So then, as you get engaged and you go to the honeymoon, the couple see each other. So then you see the other people that you have talked to. So that means Jessica saw Barnett, the one who dumped her again. And she saw Barnett with Amber, who, Amber and Jessica, they've been talking. So it was just weird. It was odd. Jessica obviously liked Barnett. And even when she saw him, it was like, oh yeah, that would be more of my type, while she's engaged to Mark. It was so sad. It was so sad how thirsty she was, because every chance they got when the couples got together, she tried to kind of take Barnett aside, who is not her fiance. He dumped her, and be like, oh, you're with Amber? I just wouldn't see that. I'm just shocked. You were just so different in the pods. No, that's fine. Like, that's cool. And then she'd change her tone and be like, are you sure you're positive Amber's the one? I'm like, wow, you really trying to take a fiance away from somebody? Girl, check your integrity. Check your whole life. And, obviously Mark doesn't really know this is happening, and Amber doesn't know this is happening. It was their significant others. So it was just awkward. And then I guess, Barnett, he's not stupid. So he kind of picks up on it and lets her know, hey, I know you're probably in a tough situation with Mark. I don't know if the sparks are all the way there, but I have a thing for Amber, and we're good. She felt so stupid. She was like, what? You thought me flirt with you? No. It's like, girl, yes, you just embarrassed again because he had to dump you twice. Don't make it thrice. Like, what? How many times do you have to get dumped for you to know that he doesn't want you. And that's probably your love life problem. You have all these jocks and you're trying to go for them and you're one of 8 on their roster. Here you go and you have Mark, great, and wants the world for you, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I'm like, that's what happens. That is what happens, and that's what you get, because you have a good man right there, and he don't look bad, and you're just like, I just used to my type. Well, hopefully your type gets you somewhere, because last time I checked, you still single. Jessica and Mark are 10 years apart, so she's 34, he's 24. He's all age ain't nothing but a number. His family's the same way. Most of her friends are like that, but she's like all seasoned. 10 years though, 10 years. I'm like, but Mark is very mature. Like it's not like a 24-year-old. She couldn't get over her standards. I think for her, she was like, no younger than 27, this and that, must be doing this. She kind of dogged him being a personal trainer because she makes 6 figures. And so it was just odd that y'all connected so much, but just being in the real world, it separated them. It separated them so much because she started thinking, oh, age, oh, your job, oh, you're not my usual type. So this whole experience went haywire once they saw each other in person. And she kept on trying to find something wrong. You know what? Mark is just too nice. And it's like, girl, you're a self-sabotager. Gigi said that, but you are too. You're just, you want something to be wrong so bad. Stop talking about your mom so much. I'm not your mom. I'm like, he literally just said that's what my mom does too. So you can tell she wanted to run for the hills. Mark dealt with a lot, I think, through the whole relationship. So I don't know exactly why he thought she would say yes at the altar. I know they kind of worked through it, but I think that Jessica was trying to convince herself that Mark was the one. So I could see it. I was like, this girl's not gonna get married at the end. Even though they did kind of connect towards the end a little more, and she was like, I am so in love. Mind you, every time she's talking or something, she's drunk. Just because you drink a whole lot of wine doesn't mean you'll age like it, okay? So towards the end, Jessica was like, I love Mark. Like, I love my fiance. Girl, just stay sober for me for the wedding day. And then obviously, I don't even know why this was a shock to Mark. She said no. And then Mark had to, he was sitting down with his mom, and his mom just had to let him cry on her shoulder a little. So that was a sweet moment, bittersweet. That was the situation. Jessica was a little thirst bucket. She needed a spray hose for her hydration. But yeah, she looked bad. And even on the reunion, she had to face Amber, who, yeah, you're flirting with my fiance. And she had to face Barnett. And then she had to face Mark. So she was very meek and mild. I had to take time to reflect. Because I didn't like the person I was. I didn't like drinking so much. I didn't like how I was going behind Amber's back. Like, she had to apologize. She had to. And I'm glad that all of her messiness got aired out and she had to face the music. And I'm sure social media blasted her. It's never cute when people get death threats. Apparently Carlton did. Apparently Diamond did. I'm sure Jessica probably did or something like that. Y'all do the most. Y'all are some keyboard warriors for real. Like, cyber muscles 100%. Stop it, okay? Because you would never say that in their face, so stop it. She ended up, I guess, leaving her little 6-figure job, Jessica, because she left and she said she had to spend like 6 months in Chicago with her family. So I think y'all put her in a dark place. Or she saw herself and she was like, oh, crap, So she hid out. And I guess she's out from hiding, but she's very single, okay? And then obviously Mark, everybody and their mama feels for Mark, so now he probably having girls in his DMs left and right because he's not ugly and he got treated like crap, and he treats his woman like gold. It was so crazy. He was like, I don't want anybody but Jessica. I knew from the start it was love. And here's Jessica like, hey, Barnett, is Amber working out? It's just weird. Yo. So at the end, they said, is love blind? My answer is no. I know people raised their hand and said, yes, it's blind. I'm still with mine. It's not blind because it was when you saw the person that you confirmed the emotions. Look at my relationship skill, yeah. I'm not lying with this. You can connect all you want to, but once you have the physical, you see each other and you're like, it's not what I expected. And then you start friend zoning and saying, you know what, maybe we connected on a friendship level, even though you felt all kinds of love in the pods. You see the person, you're like, ooh, Quasimodo. No, we're just the best of friends. It just didn't click physically. That's exactly what happened. So that's unfortunate. Guys, watch Love is Blind. I don't know if you still have to. I left out some details for people who still want to watch, but that's my synopsis of Love is Blind and the couples. Who is my favorite couple? I don't know. Lauren and Cameron are kind of like a giveaway, so sure, that's my favorite couple. I don't know. That's my Love is Blind synopsis. We are coronavirus out. I don't know what's open anymore. I don't know if stores even have food anymore. So I will be trying to Netflix as much as possible. Let me know if you have any shows you recommend for me. I don't like scary. I don't like horror. I don't like boring, so just let me know. Guys, hit me up, HOPEsaidit.com. I'm on social media at HOPEsaidit, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you need to email me, HOPEsaidit@gmail.com. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm hungry. Golly. I wash my hands, child.